literally saw me just filming. Catch me on YouTube, guys. Hi guys, welcome to my channel, not even welcome back. Basically, this is something a little bit different, and by that I mean, yes, exciting, but also yes, terrifying. I came up with a phrase when I was like getting ready yesterday morning, kind of thinking about what to start posting on Instagram again, because I've kind of been off for like 2 months. The phrase that I thought of that was originally going to go into an Instagram post and then an Instagram video, and we've ended up here on YouTube, dismantling unrealistic expectations of yourself. And I think one reason it's better to discuss it and explain it with nearly said with words. Of course I keep using words. It's not to say don't set goals for yourself and don't kind of like drop something from your life if it's not serving you anymore, or like don't escape a toxic environment because you think that it's unrealistic for you. It's not saying anything like that. It's literally just a way that they've tried to put into practice in my life lately of not being so hard on myself, because if you're anything like me, you are probably your number one critic. I'm 21, just out of uni, and I've got friends who are at exactly the same point, but they've got really well paid jobs in the sector that they want to go into, and like, claps to them, that's really great, but I'm not one of those people. The area that I want to go into is a little bit niche, it's quite competitive, and opportunities are quite rare. So if I think about it, it's a bit stupid to compare my path with their path because they're completely separate. So the thing that's helped me come to this realisation and put everything into perspective for me really, is a book that my best friend got me. It is right here, by Charlie Howard. It's called Misfit. She basically writes about growing up and trying to pursue a career in modelling, and she suffers from quite a few like mental health problems and eating disorders, and it's as a result of these unrealistic expectations she set for herself. And that's not to like slate her for a second. You know, we are all prone to expecting way too much of ourselves, and then when we don't reach those expectations, being even harder on ourselves. There's no point, you know, chasing something that is not realistically achievable for myself if it's just gonna cause unhappiness. It would be unrealistic for me to chase being like a size 0, or you know, to even modify my body shape too much. That's completely unrealistic. I've either got to like restrict myself to like 2 calories a day to look like that, and then if I don't get to that point, it's likely that I will be hard on myself, thinking, oh well, these people have reached that point, why can't you? That's because you're a failure. And then you just go down like a horrible street you just don't want to go down. I saw a quote which I was actually going to share on Instagram, and I might still, so lucky you for seeing it twice. And it basically said, if we all ate the same and exercised exactly the same, we're still going to look different. I really want to start promoting working with your body and not against it. So, you know, not trying to chase whatever's in trend, or you know, whatever you see in the media, because they change so much. There's no point, you know, that is unrealistic to start living your life by those trends. If you were someone in the 90s and the early like 2000s, size 0 was really in fashion. You know, can you imagine if you got down to size 0 and then the next day it's like, okay, that is not the ideal standard anymore. You're expected to switch up your whole being, your whole lifestyle, just to meet another expectation. Like, that would be the toll that would take on you mentally and physically. It's just insane. And yet we do that to ourselves every day. I've struggled with a lot of my life, and I still do on my really shitty days, is thinking that my body shape is wrong, because usually people struggle with being too, or like too thin or too fat, and I've never seen myself as fitting those categories. I've just always thought there's something wrong about me. So yes, I have curves, but I go out, then I go in, then I go out, then I go hip dips in, and then I go out again. So this book has made me realise I need to take a step back and say, okay, it's wrong by whose standards? Those standards are my own, but I'm setting them because of unrealistic expectations I have for myself. There are loads of different body types that I would love to look like, but that's not me. When I first got together with my boyfriend, we were on the bus home. I just turned to him and I said, do you like my shape? And he was like, what? He said, like, of course I do, like, I find you attractive, I think you're really pretty, etc, etc. But because it was in my head that it was somehow wrong to be the way I naturally was, and I always had to be striving to fit something else and look like something I'd seen represented. Well, if I make it fit what's represented, then I will feel represented. And it's like, no. The reason I started this video and the channel, I really do recommend Charlie's book. I will put the link down below, and shout out to Abby for buying it to me because it's very helpful for someone like me. Yeah, so on top of that, if you did find this helpful, interesting, if I don't have the world's most boring voice, it would be good to know. So just kind of like, comment, send me a DM. I'll link all my social media down below. This video has been a bit of a chatty one. Yeah, so until next time that I film a video, I hope you have a really good day, and I will see you later.